This is Paul. Yes. Mhm. I was just looking at this lobbying, right? And then to maim somebody to injure seriously as by mutilating or crippling. Then there's that malfeasance, the malice and malicious. Oh. Now, I only have about 10 minutes before I have to leave for the bus. Yes. But I realize a lot of the legislation that is passed by any legislative body is really well lobbied. Could you get me all the registered lobbyists in every state in the federal government? Yeah. Now, the act or practice of attempting to influence a member or members of a legislative body, usually in connection with the passage of a particular bill or resolution affecting the lobbyist's interests. Now, it's 8:55. Yes. hmm I haven't gotten any phone calls from my sons or from my public defender. I haven't gotten a phone call from Maryland. But I did call them on Friday at 11 a.m. saying that I was going to schedule a sleep study. Yeah. I got a phone call yesterday from the local hospital or medical clinic about some additional information they need. Yes. Possibility I might be able to do the sleep study tomorrow. And I'm concerned because I didn't sleep very good. I woke up and I was coughing, and I have a really severe sleep apnea, and it could injure me seriously. Could mutilate or cripple me as to maim me. Now, this malfeasance, the commission of an unlawful act, or an act one has no right to commit. Yes, most often to describe official misconduct. I mentioned that to the police and sheriff's departments about the official misconduct of refusing to inform the court that I wasn't in Brennan, Washington. Malfeasance, misfeasance. Now there's malice, the intention or desire to injure myself by deliberately doing some wrongful act without legal justification or excuse. Yes. Also, the wrongful act itself. Implied malice is that which is inferred from a deliberate act of cruelty, however sudden. As when a man schedules another man to be in court tomorrow at 2 p.m. Yeah. Knowing that you canceled the court hearing on Thursday, where I was scheduled to be in court on Friday. Yes. And you thought you'd just be cruel, as in the public defender's malice against me. Ouch. Now, there could be a lawsuit in this. The implied malice is that which is inferred from a deliberate act of cruelty on the part of the public defender's office to cause me an immense amount of, well, emotional stress. I don't really have any mental illnesses or defects. Deliberate act of cruelty to refuse to call me back after I called you. And then I put a little letter on from the doctor. It's one of these where I'm trying to get in to get a sleep study. You're trying to kill myself without any provocation on my part. Now, express malice is the deliberate intention to injure me, indicated by an external circumstance. Now, this morning, I was thinking about a casino, and could be the Queen Mary. I don't know which of them. Yeah. But why don't we look at the odds today? Because it seemed that every time you cancel the court hearing, somebody was betting that I would appear in court. Yes. But when I provided that letter from the Vimeo clinic, yes. How did that adjust the odds? Now, you've been using malice to deliberately act cruel towards myself. Yes. When the police and sheriff's departments have the evidence that it wasn't numerous recipients, yeah, it was 2,000 recipients. Now, you're trying to deliberately and intentionally injure myself. Yes. Now, the malice afterthought is the premeditated intention to do something unlawful. Yes. Possibly to refuse to allow me to reschedule the court hearing that you canceled on Thursday. Yes. Now, do I have any rights as the accused? Wait, the intention to injure myself as by the infliction of serious bodily harm or by an act. Now, malicious, characterized by, prompted by, resulting from, or involving malice, as in the malicious injury, for example, wrongful, intentional, without legal justification or excuse. Then there's that malicious mischief. Oh, willful, unlawful damaging or destruction of another's property, done with ill will toward the property owner or possessor. Now, there could be some malicious mischief if somebody's bet on me being in court tomorrow. Then there's the malicious prosecution, is a civil or criminal prosecution that has begun with the intention of injuring the defendant. As in, when you filed a 2-count criminal complaint, you did know I wasn't in Brennan? Yes. And I wasn't cyber stalking because I emailed law enforcement. Now, this malicious prosecuting of myself right now is a civil or criminal prosecution that has begun with the intention of causing me death. The involuntary admitting into a mental facility or incarceration when you have the evidence I committed no crimes. And it's without probable cause to believe the charges can be sustained because when you have the actual evidence, I was not in Brennan. Yes. There was no probable cause for the arrest for the failure to appear. Yeah. Now, these charges that you said could be sustained when the police, the sheriffs, the FBI, all of those involved have the actual evidence that I wasn't there. And which is terminated in the favor of the defendant. Now, there's a malicious abuse of process. Yeah. The willful misapplication or misuse of process to accomplish an unlawful purpose. Yeah. Let's say you filed a 2-count criminal complaint. You signed it on the 2nd of August. You filed it on the 8th of August for a court hearing that happened on the 21st of August of 2017. Yes. With the intent of the malicious abuse of process known as the criminal complaint. Now, I asked law enforcement, I said, now what's this about? They never served me. There was no summons, no investigation. There was no signed citizen criminal complaint. And your malicious abuse of process right now. So it's a misapplication or misuse of process to accomplish the unlawful purpose of my death, my injury. Now, I know there's a good probability that when you don't call me back, it's a malicious abuse of process of canceling court hearings, then refusing to communicate with the defendant. The malicious abuse of process of taking me off the docket for 10 weeks. It's a malicious